of a flight, landing an airplane is by far the most tricky part of the flight. Amen? I want you to watch this video as I demonstrate how tricky landing an airplane can be. Watch this. Here's a fella coming in for a landing, and you can see the wind is knocking him to and fro here. So as he gets a little closer, he realizes that's not going to be a safe landing. So he decides to go around and try again if the wind dies down. Another fella comes down here, same thing. He gets a little closer. Maybe gets his right wheel just to almost touch the wet runway, but well, no, that's not safe enough. Good idea to go around again, right? That's what I would have done if I was that pilot. All right, another guy. Here he comes. Now, he's in some extreme crosswind here. You can see that. Overcorrects to the right. So he has to bring it back to the left, but he overcorrects to the left again. And now the wind blows him way off course, and he decides at the last minute, he almost crashed that one. He put the hammer down, and he just barely dug himself out of a hole. Here comes another guy. I think this next guy is actually going to get the plane on the ground, but I want you to notice how smooth it is here. Look how smooth he gets this airplane down. How do you like that? Oh, can you imagine some of the lawsuits with the whiplashes and all? Here's a guy in some extreme crosswind, but he skillfully gets it down. I noticed a couple of people looking for blood there with their cameras, hoping to have some action to film. And this guy wins the prize for the most tricky landing here. I don't even know if he got it down, but look at this guy. Here he comes dropping into a canyon where the runway is, and you see where he is. Look at the runway going this way, and look at his plane going that way. How many of you think he can land this safely? Oh, I don't know. At the last minute, he turns to the left, and he gets a wheel down, and oh, I don't know what happened. We ran out of video. I don't think he made it myself, but I think they may have survived, but you can see that the landing is by far the tricky part to the flight, isn't it? All the phases of a flight, the landing is by far the trickiest. How many of you have a fear of flying? Anybody? Well, this probably didn't help, did it, Kenny? This didn't help at all. If you were to walk into the cockpit of the airplane, say you're going on a flight, and as you walk down the aisle and take your seat, you look into the cockpit and you see this in the cockpit, that might increase your fears a little bit, right? This is my family in the cockpit of an MD-80. That's a 737 or 757 airplane. And they were the pilots for a while. As we were on American Airlines flight going somewhere in the south, and we were getting off the plane. And as I was getting off, I was like the last person off, and the pilot stopped me and he said, "Say, brother, how would you like to have your kids come into the cockpit?" And he said, and I'm quoting, "Come in and flip some switches." Flip some switches? Are you kidding? Of course they would love that. So he said, "All right, have them come on in." They put the hats on the boys there, and said, "Have at it, kids." And the kids got in there, and they let them touch anything. No supervision. The kids got in the airplane, and they could put the throttle. I have no idea what any of these things. Look at all those things you got to know about to fly an airplane. The kids, I guess perhaps these things are kind of indestructible because they were flipping and bashing. The pilots didn't care. There must be an autopilot. Maybe those are just for show. Maybe it doesn't do anything. Maybe it's all automatic. I don't know. But it didn't hurt the plane. And I don't think it crashed the next flight. But apparently these things are pretty safe and pretty indestructible. They say that your chance of being on a flight and dying are 1 in 13.57 million. That's pretty safe, isn't it? Pretty safe odds. And if you compare that with a chance of dying in an auto accident, the odds are 1 in 5,000. A lot of difference, huh? 1 in 5,000 chances of you perishing in an auto accident. Ooh, I don't know about that, but that sounds a little scarier. The car is scarier. Kenny, are you afraid to ride in a car? Yeah, isn't that something? The car is far more dangerous, though, right? Maybe you'll switch your thinking after tonight, but yeah, that's the landing, though. By percentage, you can see that, well, this chart tells us 51% of the accidents or fatalities happen and occur on the landing of all the phases there. It's the most tricky.